Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for the Moshville Times, and today I am back with Submission Spotlight, where I feature music that has been submitted by you guys. Now basically the whole premise of this segment is to feature up-and-coming metal bands or solo projects, regardless of whether they are signed to a label or are completely independent, just to give you guys more recommendations from the underground. And today I have 6 brand new bands that I want to talk about. Okay, so the very first band that I want to talk about today is Sinister Ghost with their brand new EP, Real Tempo. And this is symphonic black death metal from Italy. Now, when I say that this is dramatic, it is incredibly dramatic. Huge symphonic and orchestration in this really cool yet eerie synth work. You've got piano, you've got violin, on top of really brutal and ridiculously heavy black and death metal. This is a dynamic EP, there's a lot going on in a short space of time, but everything is incredibly well placed. There's a lot of really complex guitar work, thunderous drums, slamming bass lines, and the vocal style is primarily guttural growls and rasps, with a bit of a gothic tinge to them. This EP has this grand muscular presence, but it doesn't compromise on that fiery energy. So if you're a fan of the likes of Mayhem, Cradle of Filth with Flesh God Apocalypse, this one is definitely for you, but definitely check this out. This is grand, it's opulent, but it's incredibly heavy at the same time. Okay, so next up, I apologise if I am not pronouncing this correctly, because when do I ever pronounce anything correctly on these videos? But I have Horum with Mater Sepulchris, and this is the debut EP from the black metal project from Italy. Now, this is a one-woman solo project fronted, performed, written and recorded by the multi-instrumentalist and vocalist Hera of Ice. And the fact that this much talent is coming out of one person completely astounds me. I will always support solo projects, whether they are signed or independent, as much as I possibly can, because I really do appreciate all of the talent that comes out of these. This is brutal. This is incredibly raw, primal, ancient black metal with a bit of a cold and progressive edge to it. This certainly invokes an ancient cold spirit, particularly because the themes are all about forgotten stories throughout the world and throughout the centuries, particularly around about the Ice Age. And it certainly does have that very bleak, icy, cold feel about it. But when I say the vocals are raw, I mean they are incredibly raw. They're amongst some of the rawest black metal vocals that I've heard in a very long time. But despite the fact that they are so raw and primal, there's a beauty and there's a lot of power behind it. Instrumentally, it does take more of a progressive edge to the black metal genre, but this is an incredibly fierce, fiery, yet incredibly cold and bleak black metal EP. You do have some piano throughout and single guitar tones, which really creates this ominous, unnerving atmosphere. I absolutely loved this. So if you're a fan of the likes of Early Immortal, Gorgoroth and Hulder, this one is definitely for you, but definitely check it out, especially if you like your black metal to be on the raw, intense, primal side of things. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so next up I have Void Below with their new EP Previsum Demos 2025, and this is death doom metal from the UK. Now this is old school death metal with a lot of doom metal elements, taking on themes and inspiration from Lovecraftian horror. So when you combine death metal and doom metal, that's usually a win for me anyway, but when you add Lovecraftian horror themes into the mix, I am all over that. Instant attraction for me music-wise, and this is no exception. I was all over this and absolutely loved it. Old school, chugging, dissonant death metal riffs, slamming bass lines, ridiculously thunderous drums, and guttural growls which are deep and demonic and roaring. But it also creates this very otherworldly kind of atmosphere. It's all guitar driven, there's no synth work involved in this whatsoever, it's purely the guitars and the rhythm section that generates that otherworldly atmosphere. Their entire sound has this very suffocating feel to it, which really complements the Lovecraftian horror themes. So if you're a fan of the likes of Overthrow, skeletal remains, and a little bit of obituary, this one is definitely for you. Definitely check it out. Old school death metal combined with doom metal, Lovecraftian horror themes, and it's just ridiculously heavy. Loved this. Okay, so next up I have Bachelor's Grove, and they are a gothic alt metal band from Chicago in the US. Now back in 2022 they released their EP EVP, but this year they've released 2 new tracks called EVIL and Immortality. Now if you like your gothic alt metal to be rich with melodics, really cool synth lines that are a little bit eerie, catchy hooks, highly addictive but crushingly heavy at the same time, look no further than this. This was a really fun band to listen to. There's a lot of layers going on in this music and I just found it really fun and addictive to check out. Now the vocal style is primarily your clean vocals, female clean vocals, which are very powerful and impassioned, but when those screams come in, they really grab your attention and that creates a fantastic contrast. What I really liked about this music is the fact that they have really heavy passages which really focuses on the modern metal scene, but then you've got these gothic, synthy, almost new wave passages that weave in and out as well. Again, it creates an absolutely fantastic contrast. Everything is well produced, everything is well placed, and I absolutely loved it. So if you are a fan of the likes of Nightwish, Opeth, Alyssa era Arch Enemy, with a little bit of Calva Louise and Butcher Babies, this one is definitely for you. This was a lot of fun. It's dark, it's gothic, it's bouncy, full of rich melodics, really cool synth lines, and the vocal style is just absolutely fantastic. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up I have Aligned in Ruins with their new EP Algia, and this is genty groove metal from Colorado in the US. This is really cool. It's chugging, groove-infused gent metal with a lot of hardcore elements. Now, I can be a little bit fussy when it comes to hardcore, but the hardcore elements really work in this EP, especially when it comes to the vocal style. You do have your mix of your guttural growls and roars mixed in with more of a hardcore style, and it really works. Instrumentally, this is ridiculously heavy, complex riffs which are really chugging, ridiculous breakdowns absolutely everywhere, thunderous rhythm sections, and it just has this fiery energy that completely annihilates everything. This is coming at you like an unhinged bulldozer. It's full of really tasty, groovy hooks. You've got the slamming bass lines, and there's just a lot of frantic, built-up energy behind this. Like I said before, I can be a little bit fussy when it comes to hardcore, but it's not overbearing in this EP at all, and it is incredibly well placed, and it certainly kept me hooked from beginning to end. So if you are a fan of the likes of Lamb of God, Pantera with a little bit of Hatebreed in there, this one is definitely for you. Plus check out that album artwork. I absolutely loved this album artwork, and that was the first thing that really attracted me to this EP. Lots of infectious grooves, a violent energy, and it's gonna get you moving. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so last up on today's list, but certainly by no means least, I have Shivered with Chains. And this is the third studio album from the gothic doom metal project from Iran. Now this is another solo project. Like I said before, I will always try to support solo projects as far as I possibly can, but this one blew me away. It is absolutely stunning. It's so full of emotion, it's heartfelt, it's really bleak and gloomy, but there's a beauty behind that. Now the vocal style is primarily clean, soaring, powerfully emotive vocals, but on occasion you do have these devastating growls that come in, which really creates a fantastic contrast. Musically speaking, it does fall on the doomier gothic side of things, so don't expect a lot of high-paced energy behind this. This is bleak, it's brooding, and it's densely atmospheric, and like I said before, there's a lot of emotion behind it, but this is absolutely stunning. Now this is a concept album which explores the psychological process of grief, specifically on the backdrop of a post-apocalyptic world of dread and emotional collapse. So you can expect this to give you that very dense, crushing feeling of emotional dread and suffocation a little bit. But again, there is a beauty behind this, and when I say that this album is absolutely stunning, I mean it. It's beautiful. So if you are a fan of the likes of early Catatonia, early Tiamat, or Swallow the Sun, This one is definitely for you, but definitely check this one out. I was completely blown away by this and it made me feel emotions that I was not expecting to feel. Definitely check it out. And that's it from today's submission spotlight. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's bands and make sure to give them a follow over on social media. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll find all of their Instagram handles over there as well. But if you also use Bandcamp, all of their Bandcamp links or their YouTube channels are included in the description box below as well. If you want to get involved in Submission Spotlight, please check out the description box below because that will give you all the information that you need to get involved and submit your work. I only have 2 rules when it comes to Submission Spotlight. It has to be metal and it cannot be AI. I will not be accepting AI submissions. If you want to follow me on social media, please feel free to do so. All of my handles are in the description box as well. I will be back on Monday with the last New Metal Monday of 2025, so hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you all so much for your support. I really do appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you on Monday with my next video.